Drama has to do with there are unending issues. You try to sort it out, something comes up, there are issues over the little things. A little matter, it's blown out of proportion. So there's so much drama back and forth. You think you've settled an issue, and the next thing it's brought up, and the way it comes around, you're wondering, was this just not what we talked about the other day? So it's actually something a lot of couples experience, and for people that don't like drama like me, it's actually a big one. So how do you handle such drama in marriage, especially if it's always forthcoming, back and forth? You are always experiencing drama, so much strife, so much tension. So how do you handle that? So that's what we're discussing. First, I would like to ask, where is this drama coming from? You need to find out what is causing all this drama. Is it that there is a third party who is actually instigating your spouse to keep being dramatic over little things? Because oftentimes you might not know it. If someone is in your spouse's ear and is talking to them, of course they will keep bringing up issues, and little things could actually begin to get blown out of proportion. So you need to find out if someone is talking to your spouse. If it's an extended family, it's something you need to work on, because oftentimes when it's coming from extended family, let's say it's your wife or your husband and he's talking to his family, the thing is that by the time they are judging and taking sides, it might not be in your favor. And oftentimes what they tell them, oh, you don't need to keep this, need to act on it and all that, and your spouse comes back and it's being quite dramatic over the little things. So little things, drama like, oh, about having babies, or about finances, little things that you think you've handled, and all of a sudden your spouse begins to blow them out of proportions. Find out if there's a third party. You need to handle that, because if you don't, whatever issues you think you've solved, it will still keep coming up again. Find out if there's a toxic third party. Okay, it might not be toxic, but if someone is in your spouse, it might be a friend or a colleague, somebody she's confiding in. Find out if there is someone she's listening to. Opening up your marriage to a third party could have the downsides, especially if the person is not being objective, is not a therapist, and knows how to handle this objectively. Okay, because at times there are two sides to a story. So collaborating just one side of it without having to hear the other person out may not make so much of a good argument. So you need to find out what is actually going on and then know how to handle it. Then another thing, if there's so much drama going on, ask yourself, how am I contributing to this? Let's say there's so much back and forth, because as much as you would like to exonerate yourself and think spouse is being dramatic, you could also be causing it. If she keeps complaining over a certain issue, ask yourself, how am I contributing to this? Let's say it's the husband, your wife keeps complaining about you being excessively on your phone. Just ask her, can we work on this? If you have to set rules around it so that you end the drama, you end the conflict, because if you don't nip it in the bud, it will keep coming up. So you tend to ask, how am I contributing this? And if there is how you can resolve it from your own end, please work on it. Because if you won't have to make a certain time, we say we need to shut off our phones by at a certain point in time and communicate, bond and connect, that will actually help. If you need to make boundaries, make certain rules, put them down and say, this is what we're working on, this is how we're building this relationship. It will help, because when you have those things in place, you are actually having a template for which you're resolving issues. Then have an open, honest conversation and hear your spouse out. Don't keep dragging the past into it. When you have an issue, deal with that issue, because if you don't, they would definitely keep coming back. I don't want to be judged based on something you think, oh, we had crossed that bridge, and you are coming back to it and revisiting it with new issues. Because when you are revisiting in that situation, it is always blown out of proportion. So whatever issues they are, nip it in the bud, talk about it, resolve it, then know that you've crossed that bridge. And if you need to have an honest conversation with your spouse, talk about it. This is how it makes me feel. Can we do this differently? And know that you are on the same page with your spouse, because you don't want to have these unresolved issues being talked about with, let's say, extended family, have a family visit, and you are there with family and something just happened, something that you would have overlooked if you had resolved these issues. But because you've not, it's now blown out of proportion, and you are just thinking, ooh, I didn't see that coming. And where is it coming from? It was just an issue that was not resolved. So talk about it. When you are having so much drama in marriage, ask yourself, How am I contributing so that you can stop going to the circus and being part of it? How do you handle the drama? I would say first you start by, whenever you're having these issues, the silent treatments in some marriages, I know, because I know it happens, okay? Let's say there are unresolved issues and it snowballs into silent treatments, and it's as if there are different people in the marriage. You could actually pause and say, can we talk about this? Okay, then try and talk and resolve issues, because when you don't resolve these issues, the enemy keeps talking to you. Okay, times little things that you felt there were actually no issues. You see that the enemy will keep blowing it up in your mind. Oh, this was actually what your spouse meant. Oh, this was actually what he intended to do, and it's actually to hurt you. It's actually to spite you. And before you know it, he will just keep gingering you to do what you don't want to do. So as much as possible, resolve these issues, talk about them, see what you can do to get it right. Okay, if you have to pause, take a break. Okay, if you're having heated issues and arguments, you can say, okay, can we reconvene over this issue? Okay, take a break. If you have to go for a walk, you say, okay, I need to take a walk on this. If you need to write in your journal, if that will help you calm down, and when you feel better, you talk about it. Okay, that would actually help you to stop the drama. Then also, as much as possible, ask the right questions. Okay, listen, when you're having the honest, open conversation, ask the right questions. How does it make your spouse feel? Okay, and where you need to change, you actually need to make that commitment to change, because marriage, if you apologize and still keep doing the same thing over and over, it's actually like you've actually not dealt with the issue. So you forgiving your spouse, forgiving you, there should be that willingness to change. There should be that desire to change and that attitude. I want to be better. I want to do this better. And you are actually doing what it takes to be better. So that is where it starts from. Ask the right questions, see how it makes your spouse feel, and apologize where you need to, and work on it so that the drama does not continue. Because if you don't handle those things, because it will keep happening, so the drama will keep coming up. So, and you talk about it and resolve that. Whatever issues you have at hand, don't drag the past into it. Because if you have that conversation, you say, okay, we are dealing with every issue on as it is. We don't need to keep dragging the past, dragging families and all that into it. Set boundaries, set rules to say this is how we resolve issues. And the Bible says, be angry but sin not. Let the sun not go down on your anger. So if you have issues in your marriage, do well if you can actually take this Bible pattern and say, okay, we must resolve it before the sun goes down. That means that we have 24 hours to resolve this issue. We're doing it God's way and we are building God's way. It will help you resolve whatever issues, and you won't keep having these repeated dramas coming up in your marriage. And lastly, remember that you're responsible for your own feelings. Don't have a right to how you feel, and if you're discussing this, be respectful of your spouse's feelings and emotions. Don't try to be defensive or try to make it offensive. If you are resolving issues, maintain a calm demeanor and listen without being judgmental, without being critical. And if your spouse expresses feelings, okay, how whatever actions you took made him or her feel, apologize and see how you can do better. Don't try to emotionally blackmail them to say, oh, because they felt a certain way, it was not right or it was out of place. So as much as possible, do the right thing. Okay, they have a right to their feelings. Then listen objectively and listen without judging first. Okay, and let them finish. No need to interrupt them, because you might cut their flow of thoughts, and allow them finish in a way without being critical. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and if you think there are other ways you could handle this, please share your thoughts and let's see how this could be sorted. Okay, what do you think? If there's so much drama in your marriage, there's so much sunshine today, so I felt I could come to the park and record this video. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think and how to handle drama in marriage. Leave a comment and do well to like, subscribe, and be a part of this. God bless you.